This is Nicci, and welcome to my podcast called Beautiful Chaos. Actually, I don't even know what my podcast is called. I actually had a really good friend of mine say I should start a podcast. And the funny thing is I've always thought, you know what? I have a lot to say. And I think that there's other people that could relate to all of the nonsense I have to say and talk about and discuss and essentially vent about, because sometimes podcasts are a really solid vent session. So I know an amazing woman who shall not be named. Yeah, right, I'm kidding. She's going to be named. Her name is Jane. She's an amazing friend. She's an amazing human. She's a brilliant author. And she just, you know what? She kind of connects those dots that you're already feeling, that you're already thinking. And she makes you feel that you are not alone in your journey. So she wrote a book called The Cost of Chaos, among a few others. And this book really kind of touched a lot of different people in a lot of different ways, all walks of life, all different points in their life, different ages, cultures, all of that. It is so relatable on so many different levels, and the relatableness of the book is different for everyone. How I relate to the book is different than my friend over here is related to the book. And I have to say, that's what makes a really good author, a really powerful author, is when you can relate to all of the people. So she writes a book called The Cost of Chaos. And I have to say that, you know, when I call my little podcast Beautiful Chaos, and I mean that in the most beautiful way, my life right now, where I stand today on this fine Tuesday, June 23rd of 2026, is kind of a beautiful chaos. I'm in the middle of growing a network of incredible women. We've created pages and network connections to people of all different industries. And what started this coalition or this collective is we found a common denominator of all of these pages and all of these groups and all of these events we would attend, these networking events we would attend. And the kind of common theme of them is that we're not finding true, real connections. Now, I'm talking about connections as in we are going to be friends first and business friends second. So I found over the years that I spent a lot of time hyping a lot of people up. I'm the hype queen. I will hype you up. I will make videos. I will promote you. I will influence. I will do all the things. And maybe that's from my past of being an influencer before the influencer thing was a thing. It might be my makeup artist days. It might be my Facebook Live days back 5-10 years ago. But I found that I loved finding connections in other people. I loved that warm hug friendship. And maybe it's a Midwest thing, and maybe it's just a nurse thing, but it's something that I've been seeking down here in Florida for a long time. So when it relates to being a business owner, which I've always been an entrepreneur, I've always had my own thing going on, but now I'm not even going to say 40s because I'm not even in my 40s, just to set the record straight. I am not even 40 yet. Let's just set that straight. In my late 30s, mid-30s, I became an official big girl pants business owner. As many of you know, my husband and I, we own a retirement planning practice, which encompasses a lot of different tools that we get to share with the retiring community through whether it be Medicare solutions, retirement income solutions and advisement, Social Security advice, life insurance, long-term care insurance, annuities, income growth, etc., etc. In addition to that, I have established my own concierge nursing practice. So when I say I got my big girl pants on, that means that I'm doing big things. It's not just my little crafty business that I absolutely love, that did very well. I've put on the big girl pants and am being able to cater to a broader, bigger group of people. So Minnesota, Wisconsin, Florida, coast to coast, that's a pretty big network of people. So when I talk about the cost of chaos, my life is chaotic. Beautiful, beautiful chaos. I have 4 kids who are all in sports, all doing big, bad, beautiful things. They are in school. Well, technically not. They're in summer break. But they are in school. They are doing sports. We coach their sports. We team mom their sports. We are on the board of these sports, so we're putting in extra hours. We are networking with like-minded individuals in the community for friendships, for business relations. We are growing 2 businesses from the ground up, starting in a whole new state across the country from all of our people and all of our comfort. To say that we are not in the midst of chaos would be an understatement. So right now, we're in the middle of this chaos. And something that Jane said in one of her books about the cost of chaos is that we tend to find comfort in the chaos that we've been living. And it stems from most likely some childhood stuff, whether it be trauma or chaos. It usually stems from something so much deeper. And it's interesting because today I had a business meeting with 2 amazing individuals, a husband and wife duo. They are just super sweet, genuine people. Now, I can read people pretty well. Like, I can kind of, read between the lines pretty stinking well. And it's interesting, as I listened to him talk, he circled back to something that Jane said about me. She's like, Nicci, you have childhood trauma. Just came out with it, which I absolutely love because it's true. And I wouldn't say necessarily childhood trauma. I would say it was more teenage years trauma. And it's true. Not many of you know, but I did have some teenage years trauma from the age of 15 till just before I turned 25. That period of time in my life was very chaotic. It was very messy. It was very traumatic. It was very abusive and scary and very questionable at times. Now, the thing is that trauma, that part of my life, those 10 years of my life really shaped me. It was my prime teenage years. A lot of things happen in your teenage years that shape you to what you're going to be as an adult. And it did. So when we're talking through different things and different scenarios in business and why do we do the things that we do? Why do we feel the things that we feel? A lot of those little things I do, I can relate back to the why. Now, does that change the way I interact? Does it change the way I am, knowing that I'm triggered by certain things? Sometimes. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But at least the growth part here is that I acknowledge it and I can trace it back and I can say, you know what? I know why I do that. I know why I respond that way. I know why I can easily be taken advantage of in business situations, or people take advantage of my generosity. I can acknowledge why that happens. And does that mean that I'm going to be less generous? I'm going to be a little bit more protective of my peace? I think it's a work in progress, to be fair. I think it's a work in progress. But what's growth in this situation, what's growth from that chaos, is that I can acknowledge it, that I can identify it. Now, the thing is now I need to consciously work at it. And I have been doing better. I am trying to protect my peace more. I'm trying to let go of the things I cannot change, but I'm also trying to acknowledge my value and my worth. And that's something I've always struggled with, which goes back to my teenage trauma.